How we doing, folks? Hopefully you can hear me no problem. So we got something extra special for the lovely people watching. We're going to be using Cline alongside Blender to basically do some Vibe XR work. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll get to showcase some of the core capabilities of the platform and hopefully show you guys how to make some awesome stuff. I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Ryan Zahid.
Who is awesome, and he'll be our subject matter expert in Blender. If he hits any snags, which are unlikely, then I'm right here to help him out on that front. So with that, I think that we can probably jump right into it. Do you have the ability to share your screen?
I can do that.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, let's get everything out here. And for folks watching in, if for any reason you can't hear us, you can always go to the comments and just mention, can't hear you, and we will troubleshoot live and get it fixed for you guys.
I take responsibility for any AV issues. Hopefully there won't be any, though.
All right, so I think where we want to start is just, I'm going to give a link in the comments, and you should, if you're watching, you should be able to follow along with our, let's see, join the chat. Oh, I'm gonna send this to Tony. So,
Perfecto.
Yep, you can add it in. And it's really exciting. I think what we're gonna be doing today is gonna be really interesting because, let's see, a number of moving parts. We're gonna use Cline with some Blender MCPs. We're gonna have a workflow which involves generating images, generating assets, and also I built some API connectors to some open source like libraries of 3D models.
Nice.
And essentially we're gonna connect all of that with Blender, and we're gonna add a little bit of our own little salt-based spice at the end. It's a library that a design system I created which will be a kind of a project for us for long term as well. We're gonna announce that in a second, to basically give our agents a little bit of more like spatial intelligence with designing scenes. And if you've used the Blender MCP like by default, you would realize that it doesn't really know how things are oriented and what's its relationships with scale and size and lenses. And so that's the problem we're kind of solving live today. So this is going to be a very historic workshop for us. And yeah, and an open discussion. We'll talk about some of the pitfalls of like our methods and where agents are. And at the end, we'll get to show you guys a little bit about Cline's latest update with Cline Kanban. So you could schedule your workflows. Like that's so, so good.
You can even vibe code from your phone with this as well. I have some additional content that I'll be putting out on this front. Yeah, one of the Cline engineers, Max, awesome guy, was literally on a road trip and just like creating tasks that his machine was executing autonomously. Incredible workflow. Oh, and if Ray and I look familiar, it's because we actually gave a class earlier this year on using Cline with Unreal Engine. That was a lot of fun, but we realized that that was honestly a bit too high level. We really wanted to dive into one particular part of the workflow. I think Blender is the lucky tool of choice today.
Absolutely. And we, ever since that workshop that we had, things have really evolved. Like 3D generation of assets have become so good that you get clean meshes and you can even 3D print things, which before was just a messy process. So I'm really happy. So for folks who don't know about Blender, It is one of the largest open source projects on the planet. If you ever get Blender's source code on your VS Code or something, it literally truncates the amount of commits, because that's how big the project is. That's how many people have kind of contributed to the project. And if you know anything about Cline, Cline is literally open source. It's in such great spirit that we're having this event.
We love open source here.
We have one of the best open source projects on agent harnesses and agent systems, and Cline has been just such a great asset and resource for the community here. And so is Blender. And so this is like just a match made in heaven. And Blender is much more robust than just 3D workflows. Blender has evolved over the past 20, 25 years. Believe it or not, it's been almost 20 years plus. It's a company founded in Amsterdam. Like very few people would think like Blender is from like a city like Amsterdam, but
the Netherlands makes some pretty cool stuff, though. I believe Ultimaker, the 3D printer company, is also based in the Netherlands.
Yeah, and Blender nowadays is used by big studios, especially Japanese studios, continue to adopt it. Fun fact: there was the award-winning movie called Flow, right? That was built on Blender. It won an Oscar, so that's huge. Cool. It's massive, and more 3D animation studios are adopting it, not just for VFX, not just for animation, but even 2D animation. And a lot of companies are adopting it to build. Like for example, I know a company that designs 3D glasses through this AI workflow with Blender. So the great thing is, though, you can always get involved with the Blender community. But if you're using AI to also kind of build your tooling, you could easily contribute to the project. And Cline is just a great match for it. So Blender is where 3D happens, and at the moment, agents don't live there. In fact, there's an open project for Blender Labs on integrating more like native MCPs, which I'm going to talk about today, which is we have a first version of a native MCP built with Blender for its newest daily. Actually, they just released 5.1.1 today, so we might actually touch upon it a little bit. But yeah, and why do we want to automate some workflows? Well, for many people, it's not easy entering into the field of like Blender. It took me years before I got comfortable enough with Blender to be able to say like, okay, you tell me an idea and I can probably make it.
It's funny. There's kind of like a trend with a lot of these really capable design tools that there being an absolutely massive learning curve. A lot of folks have said the same about Unity or Unreal Engine or other sorts of tools in that same vein.
And I always think about how many dreams are killed because someone couldn't find a capable team to work with because they couldn't find a mesh modeler to make their assets. And like a lot of people can, at the end of the day, it's all about creativity and people's ability to express. And that's why we're here today. We're going to teach you guys how to be able to get there. And always, of course, enjoy the mastery of the software that you're using, the tools that you're using. But the barrier to entry is lowered. And so we're going to do some fun stuff today. Today, we're going to use the Blender MCP to indirectly basically control Blender and just talk to an agent using text to be able to basically do something in 3D. And so that's really powerful. But what is an MCP? It's called Model Context Protocol. And it goes something like this. Like, how does an agent, which is an LLM, be able to basically access any software or tooling and be able to execute something on there, right? So there was a large problem that we had years ago, which is you had thousands of softwares, and they all had different functionalities, and you just wanted them to talk to each other and for you to be able to talk to those applications using the internet. So we created something called the API, right? And the APIs now are basically a standard of how you can talk to said application. And then we built agents. Now agents are LLMs that are able to you should be able to access the LLM and get an input and output. And then we built harnesses, which is toolings on top of the agent to be able to basically give it arms and legs. So your agents can actually go out and do things. And that is great because if your agents could somehow communicate through the API and talk to the application, theoretically, you should be able to do something with it.
It's JSON's all the way down. You'd think it'd be easier.
And so last year, this trend started. Actually, 2024 December is when it really kicked off, but it didn't become mainstream until like mid 2025. But MCPs became a standard of basically be able to communicate to applications, sometimes through APIs that are already exposed, or other times developers have started exposing APIs and building MCP servers so that there's a singular chain of command for all types of agents to be able to communicate with certain software. So the Blender community has been pretty active. Even before officially Blender Foundation adopted and built like a Blender lab as a project for the MCP, there were people that were building MCPs, including Tony, who built a MCP for Blender, and I built a MCP for Blender. But today we're going to go with I'm going to show you guys two different MCPs that we could probably use in order for our agents to basically talk to Blender. And so
I'm hoping that it's Ray's MCP, MCP as well, because his is probably a heck of a lot better than mine.
Well, I'm definitely working on a next generational MCP with spatial intelligence. So we're going to tell you about this project we're launching at the end. But today we're going to look at these two, and they both have their pros and cons. So there's a guy named Ahu Jasid, and you can absolutely fork his project, which has been forked 2,000 times. And I think he just put it up first, like in a way, right? And he got popular, so you can easily basically get this MCP here. Or you can also go to now Blender Lab, and the link is, I'm going to post it in the chat here, and you can basically get Blender MCP directly from Blender, which should be able to basically get you Blender MCP for the latest build, which is Blender 5.0. It is the best and latest Blender version, but it's not completely fully stable because it's Blender Lab. This is a project that is undergoing development. And so if you use Blender's official MCP server, it might not fully work. In fact, I already found a bug that needs to be patched. So for that reason, we're going to go for the more stable Blender MCP version, just so we can help you get started really quickly. So we're going to use Ahu Jasid's Blender MCP that works with Blender 4.5. And with the link that we have for so we have the Python MCP server that works with 5.1 alpha, but it's alpha, so it does have a little kinks. But we're basically going to use Blender 4.5. And for the power users here, the people who are going to be using Cline, you can absolutely get the extension on VS Code. You can also get it on any IDE. If you use anti-gravity, you can get it there as well. And there's a few more marketplaces where Cline is, right?
Oh, yeah. If you use JetBrains, I have great news for you. Cline is there. If you're more of a windsurf fan, great news, Cline is there. If you prefer Cursor, great news, Cline is there as well as in a few other newer IDEs. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to try out Zed. It's more of a minimal IDE.
Oh, I've heard so much about Zed, and
I've been impressed by it, honestly. And great news is that Cline is available there as well, for example. And then, of course, we have a CLI.
Zed, Cline's community is like development team is actually really impressive. They've been like basically making it like stupid easy to get Cline and start using it, and they offer all the models on Cline, so you get the latest. No more having to create like 5,000 accounts to basically get different models, especially when orchestration and efficiency is like the talk of the town. Using certain LLMs for certain tasks, a Cline just makes it very easy to basically work with each and all of them.
The great part is you can also bring your own inference to the table as well. I have a DGX Spark at home that is absolutely not gathering dust because you know what? Turns out it connects to an OpenAI compatible endpoint, so you can vibe code on local hardware as well.
Absolutely, and I have Olama that runs locally on my laptop, and so I can even just easily integrate that with Cline, which is awesome. But today, we're going to go a step beyond. We're going to use Cline CLI. And the reason we're going to use client CLI is my personal thought is, look, we're already going to deal with a lot of UI and UX thing with Blender and these softwares. You want to have like a clean, like a Zen environment to work in. And yes, the CLI can look a little daunting, but it is the closest you could be to machine execution as possible. You are tapping directly with the kernel of the computer by using a terminal. And there are, of course, terminal is not the only way to get exposed to the machine. There's other methods, but the terminals for me is great. And guess what? Cline supports a CLI. It's really easy to get Cline on your terminal. So I can kind of show you a little bit of how we're going to do this project. So the first thing you can do, and again, this is for beginners. If you've never used the CLI, that's fine. You can go to any folder. For me, I've labeled Cline Blender MCP, and we're going to create a new folder. And let's just call it Cline Blender MCP _01, because this is going to be our first project that is live. And I'm going to enter here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to basically open my terminal here. Now I'm using Windows and PowerShell. Don't make fun of me. I just use Windows for a lot of other reasons. So this just works. But if you're Linux and Mac users, awesome. Just use what works well for you guys. Don't make fun of my PowerShell.
We can split the difference and have you use WSL.
That's true. Yeah, if you are a Windows user, never coded, once you get Cline, you can just ask it a bunch of questions and keep getting your Windows to be a better development environment, which how I started off with. Fun fact, in PowerShell, you can make it look literally like a terminal. It has this secret feature. So we're back in the 90s, guys. We're so locked in right now. OK, cool. So I created my folder here, and I'm in the Cline Blender MCP. And to basically install Cline, it's actually very, very easy. It's just going to be, let me zoom in here for the folks online with not great eyesight, because we're spending too much time on the computers and TikTok. So it's npm install -g Cline. Like how easier could it be to do it? And it's gonna, if you press it, it's gonna do a bunch of stuff. Don't worry about it. It's gonna load, and it's gonna appear like nothing happened, but that's super normal because it's installed, and you have to launch that application once you're in. So what we're gonna do is, in order to get the terminal version of Cline, you're gonna type in Cline --TUI, terminal UI. And when you press enter, I kid you not, this is the best part about Cline. You get this amazing animated Cline logo over here. And it asks, what can I do for you? Everything.
Yeah, quick note as well, if you press tab, you can switch between plan mode and act mode, which is good for architecting your project versus acting upon the changes, or more like implementing the changes that you wish to impart upon your project.
That's correct. And you might have noticed that it's saying Anthropic Claude Opus 4.6. And you don't get this by the default if you're installing. You actually have to go ahead and actually authenticate yourself, which is you can go online and basically log in. So to do that is I press Control-C to exit right out of the Cline CLI. And let me just clear this for you. Just, more signal, less noise. We're going to write Cline auth. When you do that, it gives you a number of options. So you can basically go online. And by the way, by default, it just tells you can use Opus 4.6, which is Claude's foundational model for LLMs, which is great. And you can sign in with Cline. And when you press enter, it basically goes online, authenticates. You can create your account. You can put your card there. You can get your tokens on there. And you might be thinking, oh, Opus is so expensive. But guess what? Cline offers you the full range of all the Anthropic models. So you can, yeah.
If you want to go back to your TUI, I could actually show you ways of switching to different models from within the CLI itself.
Yeah, so here we are, actually.
Nice.
Moment we logged in, it's already giving us like what do you want your default model to be? And Sonnet is actually probably the best for bang for the buck here. I'm just gonna go with Opus because my friend Tony here has given us some free credits for this workshop. So I'm gonna use the best model, guys. I'm gonna use. So it's very easy.
It's in the name. Opus is OP.
Opus is OP.
So if you want, you can press / as well, and there's a whole host of / commands as well.
Brilliant.
Within this, you can switch between different models. You can adjust the settings. Let's actually take a look at one particular setting as well.
Yeah.
If we wanted to back out.
Mhm.
So yes, scroll up to settings.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So scroll over to features. There's a couple of things I just want to double check. So I want us to toggle on double check completion, second to bottom there. This basically tells Cline to confirm that the original task has been completed before it uses the attempt completion tool. I personally find that this significantly improves the results of whatever I'm doing with Cline, and it prevents any preemptive or premature closing of the task. So anyways, just want to quickly call that out.
All right, I'm going to take some liberties and basically give more access to Cline to be able to do this project, because people, believe it or not, I think there's like a little, there's a little taboo of like, oh, don't give your AI so much access. But truth is, there's actually a lot of guardrails behind these models. So
definitely,
unless you're like doing something extremely sensitive, your AI is not going to just go by default and delete system 32 on your Windows. Like that is not going to happen. So I like to work with speed, and I like to do multiple projects. So I like to, live dangerously and auto approve whatever our trusty AI.
This guy's gonna love the Kanban.
Cool. So we are here. So we finally have Cline CLI, and look, I can lead this whole workshop by showing you a million slides and whatnot. But let me show you how to do things in the 21st century, the new 21st century. I've enabled browser use for Cline.
Perfect.
Which means it has the ability to go online and get things for you. Also, two things that I've done, which I did it before we sat down, is I tried to get the GitHub CLI. And GitHub, for those who don't know, is a place where your code can live online. So you can sync your projects and stuff. So I'm going to ask our client here, is my GitHub CLI connected? That's the first one. And what I want to do is I want to be able to just import my projects from GitHub, just download things easily. And hey, maybe if I fix a bug in any one of these projects with the MCP we're downloading is an open source project, I can just simply do a PR and improve the project. And what better way it is to give back to the community than literally fixing a bug for free, right? That's the spirit. So yeah, my GitHub CLI is connected and I am logged in, and we're gonna do a couple of things here. So let's go back to this is the project. So we're gonna get the Blender MCP from Uhajacid, Blender MCP. I'm gonna go to Cline CLI. I'm gonna paste it. You don't even need to give that much context. Cline is really smart with how it manages the project, so it'll figure it out. And so this is the first link I'm gonna give. The next link that I want to give is right here. So we're in the first step is installation. So we want Blender, but you want 4.5 LTS. LTS means long-term support. That means that if you get this, rest assured for a year or two, you won't have to worry about it getting these tiny little bugs. There's a whole development team that comes from Blender Foundation that actually maintains these. So this is actually great. So we want to be able to basically tell to, let's download and install this version. Great. And then I'm also going to say, let's go back here. All right, and I'm going to say download this MCP, and then I'm going to say let's download and install Blender 4.5 LTS, and then I'm also going to say install the Blender MCP with Cline CLI. This is what we're using. So these are really the three components just to get set up, and I'm going to press enter. I'm not doing the plan mode because honestly, it's not that complicated of a step. So we're going to let it be. And the thing to notice here is, by the way, our repository is Cline Blender MCP 01. This is where we basically started. So all our project files are going to go in this project file. So if you ever like, oh, the terminal, like, where's my stuff, guys? It's okay. We created a folder for that reason. So you never have to feel like, where's my stuff? And you can see already Blender MCP is downloaded within seconds.
Nice.
Like, how easy is that? We could have gone and clicked, like, we could have gone online and like clicked at all these buttons and, you know, figured it out, but like, why do that when we have the most powerful agent humans have ever created at our fingertips? Why are we even going online and downloading stuff? It lives all here.
To quote Patrick Starr, we have technology.
Actually, that's really good. Hey, I have a hot take. Sometimes when you're using AI, it's good to unplug your brain. Like, just don't corrupt the AI with your like human level thought unless it requires it. And a lot of times the AI will tell you, hey, can you do that for me? And then first you say, no, you do it. And then if it says, like, literally, I can't do it, you have to do it, then I'll go do it, okay? But it really has to negotiate with me.
Sometimes, yes, I gotta let yourself fall into the AI flow state.
So guys, check this out. Even though we give so much approval to Cline, there's some safety involved here. So that we are actually about to install something, and Cline is immediately saying, like, seeking for permission. And that's what we want to see. Like, we don't want like a runaway agent, right? Absolutely, the AI is like your assistant. So we wanted to, you know, sometimes consult us for really, really sensitive stuff. And otherwise, we wanted to not disturb us and make sure it's doing the things it needs to do. So while all this is going on, I'm going to go back to our slides and look at a little bit about what we're going to do today. And this is the most exciting thing. We are going to use 3 different, basically, technologies and apps and websites and open source like repositories to do something incredible, which is automated 3D generation workflow. The first is we'll use Gemini, which is actually built into the software called Meshi. Believe it or not, they have a partnership. But in case you don't have Gemini, you can always generate your own images and just put it in your folders and ask Cline to basically use that to generate 3D objects. And, you know, Meshi, I do pay for Meshi. It's very cheap. It's like 20, 25 bucks to generate 3D models. But hey, if you don't want to spend that money, I will show you an alternative open source free libraries. It's the same thing. You just are limited by the options that people have created for you. Whereas in Meshi, you can be as imaginative as you want and generate your own 3D assets, which is awesome. I wish Meshi was more open source, but who knows, someday. Meshi, if you're watching this, put out a lightweight model. It doesn't have to be your bestest model, but it'd be cool to have like a low poly foundational model for people to use. That would be sick, and you'll be part of the cool club.
That's a really fun idea. I don't know if you've ever tried out the project Cadam as well, or Atom.new, but it's a really interesting parametric design tool as well. Anyways, I'm not trying to throw any confusion out there, but there's a lot of really interesting open source and non-open source AI 3D development workflows.
And let me show you what we're doing with Meshi. It's very simple. This is a website. They do provide an API, and there's not much you have to do here except just generate your API, which I've pre-generated here. It's called Blender MCP. I can show this to you because the key is hidden. Safety first, guys. So I have this key already loaded in one of my projects. So we'll be basically using the Blender, the key generated here to do text to image, and then image to 3D models, and then basically put that directly into Blender. And I'm going to show you a quick workflow. The only thing you need to do is get the API, and I'll show you the second thing. If you don't have Meshi, you're not like a helpless fish outside the water. The next thing I want to show you is Blender Kit. This is my favorite add-on for Blender. It is basically, it has 130,000 assets to use.
Interesting.
I would say half of them are basically not free. You have to get a subscription with Blender, but half of them are. And the half that are free are actually very good. Like, I've been able to do incredible things with free assets. And it's so easy installing it. This is like literally magic. So let's go back to the CLI. Let's see where we are. We want to approve this command right here. It's setting up MCP. I'm going to open Blender 4.5, which is now installed right here. And you can also go online to Blender website and get the 4.5 LTS. And in order to install a add-on in Blender, I think this is the neatest feature I've probably ever seen in my life, is you go to a website, you click download Blender Kit. Remember guys, this whole thing, half the assets here are free to use. You're gonna click on this button and you're gonna drag over from the website, you're gonna drag the button and drop it on Blender, and it's gonna install the extension. Like, what? It's such a neat experience, and I think this is only possible because Blender is open source. Like literally, this would not happen if it's not open source, because a lot of smart people are building cool stuff, and then they're like, you know what would be cool? How about you just drag a button, literally a button from a website onto Blender, and installs an add-on, right? We just skipped like 6 steps of showing you where to get all these things from. So in Blender, once it's open, you might be wondering like, oh, okay, add-on is there. How are we going to enable the add-on? Well, first, it needs to take its time because it's installing, but let me show you how to find the add-ons, because that does matter. And I know that for the users on their phone, Blender might be looking too tiny, so let me increase the resolution of Blender. Again, only possible because it's an open source project and people are building very cool, neat tools in Blender.
Like
So I'm going to go right here, and already you can see Blender MCP is enabled because Cline did it for us. Like, this was such a huge thing. And it has installed it on Blender 4.5. It's now also registering with Cline. So basically, the MCP is going to be a server. It's going to be sit somewhere in the middle between Cline and Blender. Blender has the add-on, and then Cline has the ability to talk to the server and touch the add-on. So that's what we're doing right here. And I just want to make sure my Blender kit is installed, which is right here. And you just do a little check mark. Again, where do you find this? This is standard for all for all softwares. You go to Edit, Preferences, Add-on button is massive here. And because B is the first few letters of the English language, naturally it falls on the top 3. You don't have to do much scrolling. So you turn on Blender Kit. And then the moment you do that, and Blender MCP is also on here, the moment you do that, what do you get? You get this nice little UI, this nice little bar up here. And I just love it because you can just go in and search for astronaut. Boom, we have some astronauts. They just show up magically. And we have a free astronaut too, like free model. And look at this one. This is such a high spec. Is that a rodent? That's such an interesting astronaut.
This gives me Warhammer vibes.
It is. It's making me remember that. Do you remember that film where it's like the dog and there's the man and they're on their adventure? It's a claymation.
Is this Wallace and Gromit?
Wallace and Gromit. Yes, it literally looks
classic.
like he's in the suit here. But anyway, we have Blender Kit, and so that's installed. And so this gives us an open library of like models to use. Then we also have Meshy, and for that you just have to take your API and give it to your Cline system. I'm not going to paste it here because you guys are absolutely going to like take my API and use it in ways that I don't want you to use it for. But rest assured, it's there. It's there. I can kind of give you a false demo of what that looks like. You're going to copy your key, which is not going to be from here. Great. They don't let you see the API once it's generated. That's actually really, really good. But when you create an API key and you name it, it'll show you like a key. You're going to copy the key, and you're going to go in here, and literally you can paste, like, this is my API key for Meshy, and install Meshy, please. And Cline will go online and figure it out. Now, is it a good practice to paste your API keys in the terminal? What's your thought?
Probably not, but hey, we're probably doing it anyway. And also, if we were using local inference, it won't be an issue. But you know what? Anthropic probably knows too much about me already. So
That's correct. The best practice is you do not paste your API keys in the terminal. It gets kind of stored in telemetry. But believe it or not, there's actually really good GitHub projects that goes in your history and literally rips out the API key. It'll hunt down all the API keys and fix it. So there's actually workarounds with it. But the best thing is you can ask Cline to open your dot environment project and just copy paste into it. It doesn't take much time. Cool. Okay, so coming back to our software here. So we have Blender open. We have installed Blender Kit. And we also have our Blender MCP now open. Now you must be wondering, how am I opening this thing? Well, the secret is not shortcut keys. But you don't have to remember them. This little triangle on the side, you see the cursor where it is. When you click on that, this thing opens up at the side. This will give you some extra tools. It's the worst well-kept secret of Blender. Everybody hates the fact that it's so hidden, but sometimes you don't want to see all this stuff, so it's great. And the Blender MCP is a couple of things. The first one is a port. So what is a port? The port is basically for the server, right? You might have multiple MCPs, servers running locally on your computer. And if you're a power user like Tony, I'm pretty sure most of his ports that are supposed to be exposed are taken. So you can actually change the port number here. Believe it or not, ports are sometimes standardized. So you shouldn't just put a random number in there. I would just increment this by a little bit to what it was by default, which is 9876. And we're also going to enable the first feature, assets from Polyhaven. These are more free resources. We're going to get some environmental HDRIs. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's beautiful right now outside in San Francisco. But you can get this sunset environment from Polyhaven and basically add that to make your atmospheric mood really good. So you can enable this, and we're going to say connect to MCP server. So now our server is live. It's happening right from Blender. And now we're going to go back to Cline, and we're going to say, hey, test if our MCP server is available. Right? So it's going to kind of make it's going to ping to the Blender MCP, see if it can talk to it. And if not, we're going to go back to troubleshooting. We're going to see what's happening and is it working or not. So yeah, so Cline is here. Let me test the Blender MCP server by calling one of its tools. It's going to go in, and it's trying to add a cube right here. So let's see. It actually pulled data from the MCP. So it knows there's a cube in there. That was great.
It knows it's supposed to be a mesh as well.
That's correct. That's correct. It is a cube mesh.
Very nice.
And there's a lot of text here, but that's fine because we are not trying to read, we're trying to do. So cool. So Blender, it's going to verify if the MCP is connected or not. And we do have our very good Blender kit here, so we can add things. Cool. So all three tasks. So we downloaded this, installed Blender MCP, and tested and verified that we have three objects: the cube, the light, and the camera. And if you look at Blender, if this is your first time, this right here is your outliner. These little icons that you see in the corners are all configurable. So you can always make the outline into a 3D viewport. Look at that. Crazy. But we want the outliner, so that's what we need. And we have three objects in our collection. They're not technically objects. They're like different types of assets. But we have the camera, the cube, and the light. And Cline knows that we have these three things. So surprise, surprise, our Cline is like that much more powerful now. And the best thing about the MCP and just using agents is it's taking screenshots to verify. Like, this is not a dumb system. This is not just looking at code. This is not Neo looking at ones and zeros falling from this the abyss to see what it is. Like, this is actual visual information.
So hopefully we don't need to use this feature, but there's also checkpoints that are created as you're working along. So if you find that you're off base, or for some reason, for lack of better words, Cline has lost the plot, it's very easy to restore history from that side of things. Hopefully that's not necessary and we don't need to use that feature, especially in this demonstration. but it's good to know for anyone that is really wanting to experiment and honestly let it rip.
Very cool. Very nice. So /history, that's the command right here. And you can go back and look at your task history, and you can just roll back if you wanted to. Cool. So we're going to start a new task. Now, so far, nothing really has happened, right? And you must be wondering, like, hey, we did all this, but nothing's happening. So let me just make my non-believers a believer, right? Like, move that cube 3 meters to the right. Okay. And do we need to know what's happening here? I mean, if you're really a vibe coder, you wouldn't care too much. But I'll put it side by side. Okay, we'll read. We'll use our brain a little bit. And so what's going to happen is the client's going to recognize the things in Blender. It's going to identify that there's a cube there, and it's going to move 3 meters to the right. Now, the crazy thing is we didn't tell what right is. Like in 3D space, what is right? Is it X? Is it Y? Is it Z? For it made a decision to move it to the X direction, which might be very interesting to think about why Cline chose right, or more like why did Opus, it's the LLM behind the scenes, right, that wanted to move it right. But it did. It has moved the cube 3 meters to the right. How do I know if I press Control Z? It will, it's did an absolute position. Okay, so it has moved it from the origin, which was right there in the center. So that's great. So it can absolutely do, like Cline now has the ability to use Blender. Let's do something more interesting. Let's add 4 more cubes and stack them up, right? So we're evolving. We're going from like translation to now like adding objects and also orienting them in a certain direction. And this is a simple task because we know the origin of the cubes, we know the dimensions of the cube. And not only did we add more cubes, 4 of them to be precise, it took the first one as a reference. And that's really nice because I want my agent to be able to be smart enough. Like this is huge. You know, guys, like I can guarantee that for a person who's never used Blender, doing this is actually not easy. It's actually not easy. Pause this video. Go and open Blender and tell me how many seconds, which I would say how many tens of minutes did it take you for a first-time user to actually do this? The likely answer is it took you a long, long time. And remember, this is precise. It is the boundary between these 2 cubes is infinitely small. It got it right down to the millionth of like the precision.
That's the part that impresses me the most here. It's one thing to copy paste a few cubes, right? But saying the actual relative position, so at the bottom of the cube above knows exactly where the top of the cube below, that's not necessarily the easiest thing.
Now we're gonna go a step beyond. I'm gonna say make a heart shape out of the cubes, add as many cubes as reasonably possible to do it. Don't overdo it, though. Don't overdo it. I'm just imagining it adding like a 6 million cubes to make the heart look very like anti-aliased. It's like
you calling Cline to show off?
Show off. Hey, my computer can actually handle 6 million cubes, but yours might not be able to do it. So let's not go there. Cool. So the point is, like, we just a proof of concept. We went from like nothing to downloading Blender, getting Cline CLI, without even going on the websites and figuring out where to download things because it's an absolute mess. Learning new websites and where things are. We just talked to Cline and basically, that's okay. We just use Cline to basically do all the heavy lifting from downloading to basically installing and then opening up. And there are a few tricks here and there, right? Like I had to go in and just press the little arrow and turn on the Blender MCP. But that's about it. And guess what? We have a heart. Look at that.
Oh.
That is so cute. That is so cute. I actually love this. This is very heartwarming. So cool. So Cline is basically absolutely doing great. And look at that. Even Cline thinks so. The heart shape looks great. 37 cubes arranged in a class. It actually calculated like what was the right amount. It's actually an odd number because this bottom cube will always be in the center. So it is going to be an odd number here. And I love it. It's giving me a history of the things we've done. So let's bump it up a notch. Let's go a step above. This looks like some gray dystopian heart. Like, let's make it actually vibrant and cool. And believe it or not, like Blender MCPs have gotten better, but so has AI models. And so there's a lot more range that we can like kind of work with. And for the viewers who are watching, like these are the words you really need to know in order to get the most out of Blender. So there's certain language that, you know, designers and people who work in 3D, the world of 3D will be using. So the key word I want to use here is shader. If you know this word, it'll absolutely change the outcome of how your designs look. Like remember, garbage in, garbage out. The higher quality of input you have, the better. It would be I would be crazy to tell you this, but like if you just watch and read a lot of tutorials, not even like actually do it, if you just like read a lot of blogs and vlogs and watch vlogs on 3D designing, you might actually become better at using these tools than maybe just actually being more hands-on with the tool. And this is a hot take. Like obviously we're not like we're still like the field of 3D spatial intelligence and building 3D worlds is an active field of development. I would even say there's not enough investment out there. I think World Labs got a couple billion in investment, and that's very tiny compared to the overall investment we've made in across many different industries. So we're just at the start. So okay, so the next thing we're going to tell a client is shaders and lighting. Let's set some scene. Let's make it more interesting. So I'm going to tell a client, let's make this heart more interesting. Let's create a custom shader. Why not? Let's make it a custom glass shader with glass morphism, aesthetic, and pastel colors, iridescent background. And let's enable cycles, which is ray traced renderer, right? Using optics, which is, you don't have to use this. I'm just doing it because I want to give you guys a great demo. But yeah, you can say enable cycles, or you can just say make it ray traced. So it'll just by default do all of that. And give me a nice framing with the camera. Something that that makes it look cinematic. So I'm just going to give all of that. And believe it or not, I'm not really thinking too much about the prompts right now. Like this is just the default. Like, believe it or not, the more poetry, honestly, in my opinion, if you write poetry, if you write prose to AI, it tends to do better than giving it more like rigid, monotone sentences of like, make this heart nice, make it look better. Like that doesn't really help.
You tell me make it better, no mistakes isn't a good prompt?
Make no mistakes is a great prompt. Let's not. But don't be that manager that tells their employee, oh, it doesn't pop. Oh, this design doesn't really pop. Like, don't be that guy.
I like to frame it like Cline isn't a compiler, it's a collaborator.
That's correct.
So treat like you would your homie.
Cool. So we're gonna let Cline CLI work on this, and then once we're done with this, we're gonna go up one more step. We're gonna turn up the heat. We're gonna start generating 3D models. We're gonna go just all out with this. We'll show how you can. I'll show you a library that I made. Actually, this is a great segue. Let me just kind of move into the next segment. So we have the Meshy API. We haven't used it yet. We're just still doing proof of concept of what we can do with the MCP. I want to show you guys something that I have created. So we're just going to go to my GitHub. And even Tony, by the way, doesn't know about this next thing that I'm about to show him. Let's see, users. That's me.
I like surprises.
This is going to be a very interesting one. Cool. Okay, so I have this thing called dimensional chaos. Oh man. And if you look at my presentation today, it was built via a certain design system that I've made. It's called Controlled Chaos. So this 2D presentation that you're seeing is completely AI generated. And it uses this very good design system that I've built. It's called Controlled Chaos, and it allows you to just get very good aesthetics, especially with text. You can zero shot it. This thing is entirely zero shot.
Nice.
But thing is, it's 2D. So what did I do? I took my initial design system and I said, time to level it up. We're gonna go in the third dimensional space. So I basically built a new library, and you guys feel free to work on it. Of course, this is day 0 of this library, but dimensional chaos is controlled chaos just one axis deeper. It's an AI-first design system for 3D scenes in Blender. It's very specific to Blender, and basically it has 4 axes of aesthetic DNA. Remember, prose and poetry goes a long way. So I've created some presets just to get started. And we have modes, we have palettes, we have camera angles, voices, as let's say, camera voices. And we have creative forces. And it's just a bunch of markdown files. It's nothing crazy. FYI, this GitHub repo is agent first. So if you aim your agent against this, it's going to not read the README. It's going to go to agents.md. This is for your agent. This is not for humans. Don't open the link. This is a matter between my agent and your agent. So you can click on agents.md, and your agent will know exactly how to use this GitHub repo. So this is agent first AI design system. But if you're really old school, yes, I've provided README here. You can go through it, requirements, yada yada, the whole 9 yards. You can go look at that. And what is happening is design.md is basically has a bunch of presets that allows you to add some flavor to your projects. And it also has a couple of other things, like we have some engines, which is these Python programming that gives the MCP kind of like drinking energy drink. So these are energy drinks for MCP. I've also added some, what do you call it? I've built some bridges to BlenderKit that's built in this, so you can actually, you don't have to reinvent the wheel of accessing free assets through BlenderKit through the MCP. This thing has it built in. So it absolutely is built for today's project, and we're going to be I'm going to continue building this until I distill like the axioms of aesthetic axioms of 3D design. We're going to get that in for Blender. And so, cool. I'm going to take this and absolutely aim it towards our project here, which I'm going to ask it to download this library or design system, and just keep it stored for a minute, right? And we're going to use it in just a moment. Okay, so what is happening here? Our heart is basically coming to life. I can absolutely see the glass here. I don't know if you guys can notice, but there's some light here, a fill light, and it has added a bunch of cubes. And there's some more lights back there, like the rim light. And the thing that's not happening here, which is why I created the library, is your LLM is generally not trained on 3D files. And we don't really capture, this is like a point of education for any viewer online. If you want to be part of what Tony and I are basically starting, like a whole new system of designing in 3D, you should absolutely reach out to us for starters. And we're going to continue working on this because we're super passionate about this. But basically the problem that we have right now is there's a certain workflow. There's a way to get from nothing to something in 3D. And a lot of times that takes maybe thousands of hours of work on one single thing. People who make games, people who make 3D models, people who make even like products that are uses like CAD modeling or maybe even Blender. They might have the final file, but there is no great open source repository of what it took. What were the 3 million steps required to basically get to that end stage? So modern day LLMs are technically not really trained that well to be able to reproduce the steps that human designers do when it comes to 3D. It does have, of course, trained on like Python files that people upload on GitHub and maybe are sharing online. It might have access to some studios that might have shared their files again. But a lot of it is just theory. We are literally going off theory. And if you know anything about LLMs, it does better with real world data because it's a fitting algorithm than it will do with just theory alone.
My hope is that like through this project and projects similar to this, we'll be creating more training data just to make things improve over time. I have a little bit of a hot take / counterintuitive theory that part of the reason why we're not seeing this widespread adoption of 3D and VR and XR, it's bottlenecked by the developer workflows, and it's bottlenecked by the rate by which you can put out quality projects. It just 1,000 hours versus dozens of hours, right? Completely different ballparks. So with any hope, the work that we're doing here will help make this more accessible to folks. And thanks, Cline, for that.
Absolutely. The plan is to create perhaps an add-on or some even if it's possible, Blender, if you're listening, let's create just keep like a developer build for Blender, in which we build the largest open source data set of recorded workflows, like step-by-step operations that people use when they're using open source software like Blender, to create a giant data set that we can train some foundational models on, or maybe append to current state-of-the-art LLMs. And basically provide more intelligence to our models to be able to execute. And the MCP is clearly the first step, right? Like why is it the first step? It's because it exposes the shortfalls of 3D design. So, yes, this looks impressive. Yes, it's exciting. And yes, it actually speeds up many things for me. But in order for me to create like sculpt a dragon, which is a very high detailed involved process, I haven't been able to just get it done as quickly as I could maybe zero shot an enterprise level software.
Definitely. And there's some larger challenges at play as well. Out of curiosity, have you used Git LFS before? Large file storage?
Yes.
Yeah. And perfect. So I'm sure you've experienced this, but LFS works wonderfully with large text files and things of that nature. But for example, .blend files, those are binary files, right? So any minute change, it's not just like a diff edit. You actually have to re-upload the entirety of the new file. So in a way, a lot of the source control systems that we have just aren't, I don't want to say not built for it, but they don't have the necessary connectors to make it seamless, honestly, which is just a whole other layer of challenge. I know this is a little bit outside the scope, but mini rant over.
Well, I know for a fact that, especially with Cline, like again, the open source, the whole point is like, look, we have like a rare opportunity to allow more people to be creative. Like,
definitely.
And if we can build something that opens access for people to be more expressive, why would we not give people that opportunity, right? A lot of people thought like Blender as a project would die, right? And it hasn't. It goes to show that people want to be creative. People want to build more things. And the more accessible it is, the better. The more robust it is, the better too. So we want to be able to open that up. And I think that projects like this will go very, very long.
Agreed.
Okay, so here we are with our I kind of like it. It's very neat. It's got a certain aesthetic. We have a little class morphism going on. I'm going to exit out of the camera mode here for a second, just so I can kind of move around. It's created like this nice background.
That's beautiful.
Very nice. And there's this glass morphism kind of effect going on. And It's very well lit. Just by the way, on the side, we have some lights. If I turn some of these lights off, it'll tell me a little bit more about these cubes. So definitely not backlit. The lighting's not doing much. So I'm going to go and open this timeline. And again, like I said, these little icons, they basically represent different menus. So I'm going to switch this to a shader. And remember, I mentioned earlier, if you know these terms, you will be more effective. So shader is what it is. And what's really impressive is like the Blender MCP literally created a custom shader.
Oh, wow.
It made one that actually reacts to the angle at which you're looking at the object. So that's what this layer weight is for.
This UI is reminding me of Comfy UI.
Oh yeah. Node-based workflows are like the thing. And I'm such a huge fan of it. It's actually not easy to build. Like it's easy to build it, but to make it actually work in production, node-based workflows are challenging, but so powerful. So powerful. It's one of my favorites. And this is the problem. So we have an emission node here, and which is why it looks very bright. So I can actually increase or decrease this. I can also tell my MCP to change it. Yeah, I can make it like just faintly glow. Maybe just like 0.05, maybe too much, 0.025, all the split in half. It's got a little, glowingness going on here. And the background too, you can actually change from object to world. It built a full background environment as well. That's why it looks a little like foggy in the back. And you can actually change that using this color ramp right here. Right, you can absolutely change. I can like remove some stops here. But anyway, we're detracting. The point is, we're not here to do everything here. We want our AI to do it. Sorry, guys. I just have too much fun with this.
Man's passionate.
Thanks. So we're gonna go back to Cline. Okay, back to the AI stuff. And I know I was doing this, like downloading this design system, and just gets okay. We can do it. Okay, let it go to dimensional chaos and download it. We're gonna get to this in a second. Let's come back to adding 3D models. We want to add the astronaut. We want to add some trees. We want to add some grass. We want to make it look really nice. What if we had a tiny little planet, right? And then add some grass and trees, and it's a complicated thing. Planet, spherical coordinates. Let's see what we can get done here. Right when it downloads this, I know it's not going to install anything because there's really nothing to install there. It's just a markdown system.
I don't know if you see the prompt that I sent in our private chat as well, but I have an idea for showcasing the Kanban for alongside Blender as well.
Yes.
No pressure either way, but hey, it's a fun idea.
We'll do that. So we're gonna run Cline's Kanban. Once we have all the things wired, we'll switch to Kanban and maybe launch like a series of just full send.
I'm really excited to show you the Kanban agent as well. It can break down a really complicated task into a bunch of individual subtasks autonomously.
Very good. Very good. We'll share your screen if you're following along with all this. Absolutely look at that. Cool. So we have this. The next step is we're going to be generating some assets. So there's two things here. To make it fair and easy, we're going to do Meshy and BlenderKit at the same time. Perfect. So let's add a new prompt. So it's going to be, let's take our heart-filled world and make it a little more interesting. Talk to your AI like it's your friend, right? Let's create a little planet and generate some cute tiny elements from Meshy to populate our tiny planet. And also use BlenderKit. Search their free assets and find some assets to populate our world. We'd love to have very good directional lighting for contrast. Why not? Let's set the mood a little bit.
Agreed.
And just to make things quicker, because yes, Meshy will be generating assets. It will take time. So let's say 2 Meshy objects and 3 BlenderKit assets, because those are just available free. You just got to download it. BlenderKit assets. up to you how you want to spatially arrange it. And here's me being nice to it. I trust you. No pressure. And that's it. Let's send this and see. It's so far, what we're doing is Cline is basically going to go in and look at the project, the repo. It's going to go through. Actually, it will probably not find the API because I am like one folder in. It's going to be like, where's the Meshi API, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to go ahead and give it just one folder up, like kind of pseudo root access to the client, the project file. So you can find the .env for Meshi here, and also Blender Kit. By the way, the Blender Kit bridge is in the dimensional chaos library, so it's kind of built in. At some point I'll split it, so I'll create the Blender Kit thing to it.
I know something about your technique that we should call out as well. You're both using the specific syntax for the exact objects or processes or whatever it might be within Blender. That's important just so that the bag of context is open to Cline for that particular use case. And I noticed that you're also keeping the tasks relatively tightly scoped as well. You're not, say, trying to one-shot generate the San Francisco skyline, right? You're just trying to generate like this heart object or this arrangement or whatever it might be. I feel that's important to call out as well, just because I see a lot of folks when they first try out this workflow, they really go overboard with it, right? They try to replicate the Salesforce tower, which cool project, and I'm sure that you can get there with a few steps, but make sure you're not trying to one-shot something that's a little bit too large for the scope of what we're trying to do.
That's actually that's a really good insight. I almost missed it, and I think I mentioned something earlier. It's like, you don't want to be that manager that tells your employees like make it pop, because to be a rational human being and to be a rational agent, that's what we're trying to build, is rationale. Like, a lot of our agents are rational. We still haven't invoked within it like deep emotions and deep like what do you call it? Just emotions, just like irrationality, like which humans have. So you can kind of think a lot of LLMs as being, even if it's emotional, it's being rationally emotional. It's like invoking emotions through some rationality, but like it's a rationality engine. And what that happens is the set of things that will make something pop is so massive that the moment you start prompting in such a massive set of possibilities, you will converge on the, mind my language, the crappiest of the outcomes, because under pressure, I don't think any designer has come up with great designs after the manager says, make it pop. And I think there's a giant set of bad data or mediocre data that has come out from making things pop, versus letting your creatives be creative, letting them be exercising the freedom of human creativity. And those are when you get the best outcomes. So believe it or not, the dimensional chaos library is trained on 100 of the world's most aesthetic designs on websites. So it's trained on code.
Nice.
So it has a very good foundation with creating things. So anyway, you can't just get that from someone who says make it pop. Cool. Okay, good thing. It couldn't find a .environment file for Meshi API key, and that's probably because it's in some kind of .ignore, or it's actually not stored in that repo at all. Let's do this. Can you share your screen for a moment while I load up the API key?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Best practice, guys. We're going to be doing things the right way. So.
Understandable. Let me just go ahead and pull your screen off the stage.
Great.
And in the meantime, I was actually wanting to share a little something that I just randomly threw together one day. This also uses Meshi, funny enough.
Nice.
So it's this guy right here. It's Dancing Cline. Again, this took me like maybe 20 minutes to make or so I don't claim that's the highest production quality ever. But I personally like to vibe code games and stuff like that. Really good for demonstrations, fun, just for fun, honestly. But yeah, just I felt the need to make a little homage to Cline, and what better way than in just our own logo, and through Meshy, create a little character guy out of it, do the rigging through Meshy as well, and then make Cline dance. The fun part as well is that if I
Wait, you haven't shared the screen.
haven't I? Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. There we go. Okay, there we go. We got a dancing Cline here. Boom.
Oh, that's so neat.
It's fun. And the fun part is, and I think I was inspired by Resolume Avenue on this, if you tap the little character dances to the beat that you sent in. So right now it's going on turbo speed because you know what? It's a Cline rave. But lots of fun. And again, the only thing I used for this with Meshy, I don't even think I touched Blender for this.
Right.
Which, results may vary, but fun little time. So anyways,
cool.
So I can add your screen back to the stage.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom.
All right, cool. So I just generated a new API key, Blender MCP2, copied my thing, pasted there, and it's gonna start basically generating some things in just a moment. So client using MCP tool, MCP response, code executed, planet created, little planet. Let's look at our little planet. It's too little. It's so little, we don't see it yet. So, oh, wait, I saw something. Ah, there it is. The little planet, the plane is sitting on the little planet. But look, I'm not here to judge. I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm gonna let our basically client figure it out. So it's gonna go and start running things. And by the way, this is the stuff that is great. Like we're watching live some of the things that our viewers are gonna see. And there's a reason why we're creating these design documents, just to give it more intelligence while the LLM catches up. Like eventually, these LLMs will be smart enough. But until then, we're gonna build enough interest that companies like Anthropic and OpenAI are gonna be like, you know what? We need to kill the startup. So we need to absorb.
Let's ask the burning question. Do you think Mythos can work with Blender just out of the box?
Could be. I know that Mythos is probably trained on the MCP. It's the latest. It is, the last Opus was trained. Its training date was like way further back, and Mythos is very recent. So there's a very high chance that Mythos will be a little better with MCP's period and 3D stuff, because robotics have just taken such a huge. Just last 6 months have been crazy. So
absolutely.
The spatial intelligence is probably going to be a new metric in LLMs, like scoring LLMs.
That's a really good point. I almost wonder if players like NVIDIA with Nemotron might be better candidates to build models for this purpose, just given that their simulation ecosystem is so well developed. It would make sense. Just looking at your Blender scene as well, I absolutely love what I'm looking at. The reflectivity of that plane is really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Can we, yeah. So there's like that nice reflection of the heart. Is there also a reflection of the planet? Oh, there is. That's cool.
There we go. Look.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I think what is going to happen, and we're using act mode. We're not doing plan mode. If you were doing plan mode, it would take longer. The results would be better, but you don't have all day. So I have all day. I do this all day. Like, this is what I do every single day. But basically what's happening behind the scenes right now is it's going to wait for generating the assets. It's going to probably put the assets in the scene. It's going to screenshot it, understand what it looks like. And then at some point, it's going to start arranging it just like a human. This is like a very human process. But just like humans, don't judge the scene before it's done. Nobody likes anyone hovering over and be like, you missed that thing. It's like, it's part of my plan. And can you like leave my office, please? So we're gonna let Cline cook here. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm absolutely loving the CLI. Like, you can kind of see that we're not like, the thing that matters the most is the result here and our ability to diagnose it. And with the CLI, we get so much signal. Like there's not a lot of noise. The stuff that's being written out is exactly what we need. And what the MCP, by the way, here is doing is it's writing the Python code that when it executes, it results into an actual thing here. Behind the scenes are objects right here. The moment Meshi is generated, it's going to create a format that can be imported, and we're going to see those imports coming in here. I also noticed there's just like so many different like objects here, and we can clean that up a little bit. Quick question for you. Is there a way to, yes, we have sub-agents, but does Cline right now supports agent teams?
So, yes, it does. Although the better way to visualize that is through the Kanban. We could, of course, have multiple CLI windows open. That's a way that we previously did the multi-agent swarming before having a Kanban. But yes, there's no reason why you can't have multiple windows.
All right, so this is it. This is where you stop being a vibe coder, start getting serious. Oh man, I absolutely love the animations that come with Cline as well. I think let's open one more because I want to actually explore that. I don't know how you guys did it, but like this is so neat, guys. Like, come on.
It took some doing. I believe our CEO actually posted something on Twitter, really diving into how exactly they built it out, because it took some doing, as you might guess.
You know, I love building CLIs and then graphics. I have one where it's literally you get Subway Surfers on the side while you wait for things to complete.
Oh man, you built Chad CLI.
I did do Chad CLI, but I can tell you it's not easy. It is so ridiculously difficult. Sometimes with just creating the exact look you want without like actually going and typing code. But like this is very well done. Like I absolutely love it. Cool. So okay, something's happening. We definitely have things showing up on our planet, and we got mushrooms. Great. We got a little rock as well. Oh, and we got this guy or whatever that is. We got a little tree. And so I think the size is the spatial intelligence is still like, it's kind of working on it.
That's impressive.
I'm not sure that it's done yet. We have our directional light, which is great. Now it's all about how at the end we're gonna merge our heart scene and our planet scene in just a second. And still thinking, is there so much, this is not easy work. Meanwhile, I'm gonna open another CLI and just try to organize our work files. I don't think that's going to interrupt with our other operation. That is one thing you have to consider when you work with multiple sessions or instances of your CLI. You want to do things that are as independent as possible, but given how good harnesses are becoming down the line, that will be very trivial.
Definitely. The way that we handle that is with the concept of work trees, where essentially when you have a task, it creates a new branch off of your existing branch for that particular work. And then when the task is completed, it's merged back in. Within the Kanban, it's a bit more hashed out. So basically every task gets its own work tree, which then is consolidated at the end. But yes, for other ways of interacting with the AI agent, it is better to have some concept of separation of tasks that might interact with the same file sets, just to prevent any kind of conflicts.
Word. We have Meshi Mushroom, Meshi Cap, and Meshi Crystal.
Love it.
So that's what it has. I don't think it used the Blender. Oh, no, I take it back. We have Blender Kit Rocks and tree foliage and tree trunk. We're not seeing this yet, but that's fine. It's very normal for things to look very rough before we get to the final stage. But I will ask my other client CLI to, let's create a system of organization. Of objects in our Blender scene. I just noticed something. I made a very rookie mistake. I was so excited. I didn't go into our folder.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay, so let's see. I'll just put this for now, go back here. I think we are this directory, and then we did Cline. Guys, I have so many projects. Look at that. We have a Cline project. Wait, I forgot where our folder is. Wait, it's in a secret repository. I have this repository called Life, and let's just say I've automated most things, and that's why it's called Life. And so Life is my master repo that basically is fully automated. Believe it or not, I was communicating to Tony autonomously, actually, to organize this today.
I didn't realize I was getting Claude.
Hey, it's way better than Claude. I mean, I built something like way more reliable. And anyway, that's another workshop we could touch upon. But basically, at Life, I have projects now. And so I have one terminal that handles all my projects, everything. Basically, everything's connected. My insurance, my emails, my messages, like everything is just centralized now. So I have my projects. And then from here, we have the Cline stuff, Blender MCP. There we go. That's where we're going to launch Cline, right? It's very important that we get our repos correct. Cool. So back to the thing, what we were trying to do, which is let's take our Blender scene, which we are working on. I know we haven't saved it, which is a big problem. I think we should absolutely save the project first. Let's name our project Blender project Little Heart Planet. Maybe with no spaces. That's fine. Cool. Let's save it. Okay, and then we can refer it across our different sessions. So let's take our Blender scene, which we are working on, called Little Heart Planet. By the way, if you do make mistakes, like your AI will know it and account for it. So don't have to be that nitpicky with it. Just speed. Speed is really important. So we are working on called Little Heart Planet, organize all the objects. On Blender, these things are called objects. All the objects in sub-collections, which is create collections within collections, and name them appropriately. Cool. So I'm going to let that cook. And then right here, we have our project saved right here, Little Heart Planet. Blender is now saved here. So we have this right now. Now, of course, we had given it a certain task, which is put a planet, put some things on it. We didn't really define much around like what are we doing with it. So now we're going to come into full send. So this is going to be crazy, guys. The heart that we made is going to be the source of light in the background. No plane required, which is the flat plane. The planet will be populated by many instances of the things we made using BK and Meshi. BK is Blender Kit. I just think BK because that's how it named it, right? So I was just looking at it.
Should we give examples of the things we made, like the mushroom and the crystal, just give it additional context?
Oh yeah, we're gonna zoom into it in just a second.
Gotcha.
And we're gonna also make the materials a little better. We're gonna make them glow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. By many instances of the things we made using BK and Meshi, you can use particle systems to do that. Make the planet vibrant and keep one giant crystal that is glowing on the surface. Can we also find some interesting objects that can orbit around this little planet? Can we add some animations to it? Right? And this is it. So this is the last step that I'm going to show you guys before we bring in our library of dimensional chaos and just see what we can get. And we're going to end it with actually rendering some scenes. And yeah, this is like great. So we're going to let Cline do its thing. And it writes a lot of code. Like each one of this takes so much code writing. But the other Cline instance has created a what do you call it, an ontology of like objects and how we're going to structure it. So it has done that. Look at this.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I can tell you this, guys. If anyone's ever worked in Blender, the one thing people hate is naming their like objects. It is the last thing that I will ever do in my life is go back to my projects and rename them. But you can also take Cline. You can aim it towards your Blender directory, because I have a Blender folder with all my hundreds of Blender projects. And I can literally tell it to go in and rename every object en masse.
That's so cool.
And then I'll take a sip of the kombucha, and I'll come back after a couple hours, everything named to standards. That's such a dream. That's not true.
Solidarity sip.
All right. So while Blender, Cline is going to be doing some things. We have some low poly stuff from Meshy. FYI, you can absolutely tell Meshy to be high, like, what do you call it? This is low poly. You can make it high fidelity. I can create like as complicated of an object as I want. And this is not a bad thing. You might be like, oh, this is so depressing. Like we have low poly stuff. It's not. The point is that if you have ever done anything in Blender, made complicated scenes, the first step that you have to do is actually block out your scenes. You have to create like a sketch. Any good artist would be doing will be making paneling, will be doing storyboarding. So you get great quality scenes in Blender once you start blocking things out. And that's what we're doing here, because the moment we know where our things will be, and because it's low poly, it's the viewport, everything is really efficient. I can go in and say, okay, take all our things and make it high fidelity. It'll go in and consume way more credits generating things, but we will get a very low, high poly scene. So I noticed there's, oh, there we go. There's a little source of light, the heart. And it's gonna keep, yeah, it's gonna keep doing things. I think I'm gonna set it right here while it does things. And I have another, like obviously another instance going, so I can now double trouble our Blender projects. So I'm gonna start focusing on this. Let's look at our mushrooms. Let's make a custom texture for the mushroom where the dots on the mushroom are glowing. For the compositor, for cycles, can we add glow for the viewport? Let's see. I know these are a lot of big words, but again, it might not be a bad idea to stop learning how to use Blender and start reading how to use Blender, right? Like the words just matter way more.
Absolutely. It's all the syntax, all the internal documentation, all the power words that you need in order to access the specific context that is required for your task.
Just right off the bat, it just goes in. It's I don't know if you can read this, but like basically it's made a node group for the mushroom right here, and it's immediately launched into just creating the exact thing I said. By the way, making this takes at least 3 minutes, even for me. Look at this, guys. We are getting like a very beautiful planet. Oh, it looks so good.
Gorgeous.
Oh, so nice. And we have a source of light. It needs to get the shapes right, which I think it'll eventually get to because it's still writing so much code. And yeah, let me create. So it's saying that it's creating procedural node groups for the mushroom. Where's our mushroom? Mushroom is right here. Look, it just did it. Oops.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's actually glowing. How do you know that? Look, there's like a green shadow. There's a green glow. That's crazy, right?
I love that so much.
It's so nice. Again, guys, we have gone from like nothing, not even the software installed, to literally prompting and creating things. A very nice, like visual aesthetic wise, and we have intelligence. I mean, like this is just vanilla Cline using Blender MCP. We're just getting assets from different places. And we're so cooking right now. Wait, what is that? Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, my
Meshy
God.
crystal tree. Is that what it is? Wait, let's see.
It's beautiful.
It is. It is basically combined two things. There's
That's the prettiest hallucination I've ever seen.
this is a crystal tree and this is a mushroom house. Oh,
Oh.
that looks so good. And honestly, combined, it even looks better.
Right?
But
It almost looks like a microcosm of the planet itself.
here's the compositor. We are getting the glow that I asked it for. And we're just cooking. We're just cooking, guys. Again, it really all depends on how you prompt. So, and the words, do you know the words, right? Like if you know the words, we're gonna start cooking. This in itself is already, okay. So Blender just like zoomed in on the mushroom, making sure like things are good there, which is awesome.
Understandable.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm like overfilled with joy right now. Oh man. Yeah. So, Tony, you showed me the dancing Cline, and that's probably HTML.
Basically, all HTML, all CSS. I don't even think I used WebGL in that.
WebGL will be so powerful.
It would be
using that.
Probably be more performant. It is a little on the laggy side, but it was 100% vibe coded. So
guys, something that I didn't show the folks yet is Blender's native MCP, and using with Blender 5.0, we should do round 2, because one, there's a little bug, it needs to be patched. It was actually the compositor that has a bug in it. It will take me 30 minutes to patch it, which I didn't get time today to do it.
makes sense.
But if I patch it, I'll push the PR too, so everyone gets to basically enjoy it.
Nice. And I can drop a link to said PR in the comments here.
Absolutely. And I think we can go so far with this right now.
Absolutely.
This is 4.5. We're using a 3-month-old repo where some people are like pushing PRs. It's not that active, but Blender MCP is like full focus. It's a funded project, so people are getting paid to build it. It's really neat.
That's good to know.
So we're gonna, we should do another one of these and see.
Oh, I think this will be part of a series. We're getting kind of close to time, so I'm actually wanting to see, is there any chance we could try to do the Canbed workflow on a fresh scene?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And it's so easy. We can open it as we speak. All you got to do is Cline. But first, I got to go to the repo.
Yeah. I was about to say, my confession here is I have not been following along, and I did not install the Blender MCP when you were doing so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's perfectly fine. Cool.
I will later tonight, though, because this is fun, and I'd like to try out a couple of things myself.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Live. We got projects. Great. You guys know my entire file structure now.
Not to call Rayon out or anything like that, but if y'all were in the room, you would see and hear that his computer sounds like a jet engine right now.
It does.
He is cooking.
Yeah, man. I also have cron jobs on my computer that's like actually doing things in the back end. So randomly this thing will be like, whee! I'm like, what are you doing, computer? What's cron job is now set.
Love that.
Anyway, if you just type Cline, it should launch a local server, and it should basically launch the Kanban. It's going to take a second. There it is. It's 127 port classic, and 3484. We are there's so much happening right now, but this is actually very neat.
Oh wow.
The only thing missing is the sizing, which again, like I said before, spatial intelligence related things. It's all about sizing and stuff. So it's still cooking. We're going to let it do its thing. This is our other instance. It's also cooking. We're going to let it do its thing. And meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and basically open Cline. There we go. We have the Kanban. Woo! And you can see it open in life, where I've made 155,000 lines of code edition. So I need to close this and open It's not in this directory. So sorry, guys. I need to.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
that's
know
the
why I did it.
wonderful thing about having different workspaces. Just lets you start fresh.
That's the route where I probably installed Cline. So that's why it's opening. It's fine.
Ah, that makes sense. So you can actually open another project within the Kanban view as well. If you click the Add Project button on the left-hand side underneath the selected Life project.
Right here. Cool.
Right there.
Nice. The most difficult decision of my life. Should I do it on the desktop or not? How clean is my desktop? Look, I have two folders, a desktop within a desktop.
I need your discipline.
I actually use AI to sort it. I don't really do anything at this point, to be honest. Everything is, delegated to my subscriptions. Yeah.
Understandable.
Cool. We have it. We have it right here. That's great. Oh, we have the client command. So, okay, cool. Tony, run us down some things that you now want from the Blender scene. I'll enter it.
So I actually really want to stress test the Kanban agent right next to that project button.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Great.
So I sent over that last prompt, the create a kawaii octopus scene in Blender. I just kind of want to showcase one particular part in just that last message. Ignore all the other slop that I sent over.
Also, are you seeing this? Look at that.
Oh, I am. That looks amazing.
Okay. We're going to tell it
Heart-shaped
to
sun.
fix sizing. And we want it to feel full but not cluttered. I think that's going to be our next primer right there. So you want me to post this one?
That sounds great.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's save progress on this one.
Sounds good.
Actually, wait, guys, what am I doing? There's actually a way that we could actually launch multiple MCPs. Yeah, we don't have to be limited. We're Blender maxing right now, guys. This is the way to go. Blender is really cool. You can create as many instances as your computer can handle. And because we can launch MCPs on custom ports, and we have the MCP GitHub, so we can just kind of direct the agent for that one over to another port. 77 it is. Use assets from here. Great. We have now 2 servers running for our MCPs. We're so cooking right now. I'm so happy right now, guys, to be really, really honest. Cool. And then let me just save this file just to kind of create a little distinguishment between our projects. So this one, let's go in here. Let's see, documents, 26, live projects. And then we got Cline Blender MCP. And I'll just call this Cline Blender MCP _02 because there's a second project, right? What's a little discipline goes, it's not that bad. And we call this, what was the thing? What's the theme? It's octopus?
Kawaii octopus.
Kawaii octopus.
Something cute.
It's going to be so good, especially with Meshi. It's going to be so good. Okay. Okay, I think we're so locked in right now. Okay, Kawaii octopus. And then let's go to our Kanban. I'm just going to refresh this for a second, just to get a clean instance here. And let's see, it exited. So basically, let me just launch this one more time. Cool. All right, there we go. Failed to start. Address already in use.
In that case, you should just be able to refresh the Kanban page. It's likely already opened in another window. Thankfully, the general rule with Kanban is you just have to start it once, and then you can use it with all of your different projects.
Got it. I think I killed the, okay, it's back up. Okay,
Perfect.
Cool. Great, and I want to be in this repository because that's where our project lives. We're going to go to Kanban agent, and let me take our...
Let's just drop it on in. So I absolutely adore Kanban agent as well on sheer principle of it can break down a pretty complicated task into, until as many subtasks as you need it to be in order to reliably accomplish the work.
Got it. How about this? I know I want to use the Kanban agent, but just for the viewers, maybe we can start someplace small. Can I just create some tasks?
You know what? I don't see why not. Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going to basically say in the Blender MCP exposed on, and what was that? We had it on 9877 port. In the project Kawaii Octopus, we want to do the following. And let's see, does it use, did you say that use Meshy?
I did throw Meshy in there as a keyword.
Okay.
Along with Blender Kit.
It's going to naturally choose Meshy because I bet it won't just easily find it on Blender Kit. You never know, but yeah. And final output should be cute, polished, underwater scene. And then I'll say choose the right shaders, compositor, camera angles, camera depth.
Perfect. Were you having issues opening the Kanban agent, by the way?
It said the terminal had crashed. I had to reopen it.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries. In that case, we could always just close and reopen the project. That's generally the way to solve most problems with computers.
Got it.
We can just copy this whole body as well.
Got it. Camera, and then the final thing was in render engine. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. I have this copied. Cool. And you said that
just try to go to Kanban agent once more.
Got it. That.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries. In that case, why don't we go to the terminal window where we started the Kanban?
There we go.
I don't believe it is that one. I believe it might be another one of your terminal windows.
Just Cline terminals or the Kanban, because the Kanban is open right there.
Gotcha. Okay, let me just sanity check the others just to make sure. Cool. Okay, let's try that third window once more. And let's just close Kanban and let's just start it up again.
Brilliant.
And you might need to confirm opening Kanban.
Here we go.
Perfecto.
It's working here, but I also think this is the directory where we need to work in.
That makes sense.
So
let's try one more time. There's a small chance that there might just be some issues with the directory itself. Okay. No matter either way.
Yeah, terminal stream closed. I mean, we can diagnose it, but just, I guess, for the sake of
super fair.
Yeah,
just want to make sure it wasn't low-hanging fruit.
It is probably the create task will work for now, but
cool.
Let's see. And then we're gonna start. There it is. It does not have initial kits. So we're gonna create initial commit, then try moving it. Cool.
That would explain it. We might have to run get init within this particular repo. That would explain the terminal crashing as well. But the way that Cline works is it's very fundamentally dependent on the Git checkpoints. This allows some of the features like being able to go back to a previous state of the project, and instead of making it just like a slop stirring function, it allows you to intentionally back the project up to points where you know for a fact that it works.
Got it. So we have this right here, and it said could not this. Let's see if we could. Got it. I'm just gonna go to CLI and basically kill this right here.
Corey, you're awesome for using Kanban on a Raspberry Pi. Also great to see you here.
Very neat. And
Corey's an awesome guy. He's built a couple of maker spaces.
Make a git commit. Yeah, let's just initialize that to the CLI. This is great. I love CLI. Like this, and I think with the Kanban, once you have like something figured, I bet you could do so much. Like we don't have to open multiple CLI windows anymore. We can just be on the Kanban and just launch it, see the status there, which is going to be really neat. Cool. Definitely. So while it does that. And that's very smart, because I think like if you're going to start your project, I think it's always actually wise to start with the .git. I do agree. And since we're using like putting API keys and stuff, you want to be able to add it to ignore and save progress. And we should have done that from the get-go, but for next time, we will absolutely take care of that. Cool. Okay, so let's look at our project once again that we were working on while that part configures. We've done so well here. I just hate to be putting a pat on our back, but this is amazing. And by the way, if it had animated it, oh, it did it. Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is fully animated.
To quickly answer a viewer question, yes, you can bring other models to the table here. Highly recommend larger models for this purpose, just given the nature of, well, this kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier regarding the challenges of using Git LFS. But these large binary files are just a lot to manage. So I highly recommend, if you're going the open direction, I've personally used GPT OSS 120 billion parameter successfully with this workflow. It did take some doing, but we have used open models for this purpose as well. That being said, you have to make sure that it's a pretty sizable model. And I might even advise serving it over the cloud or something to that effect, just so you don't have to depend on your own hardware, unless you happen to have a DGX Spark or access to an H100 or something like that. If you're using Cline as a provider as well, we have a pretty decent relationship with CoreWeave, as well as weights and biases. So we're able to serve in through it, and inference through those providers as well.
This is so neat. Again, guys, we're completely running this automated. Obviously, if I put my hand on it, I can make this scene literally your next wallpaper, which I will do, by the way. If you're watching, you'll add that in.
That's so fun.
But the next prompt I gave it is like, let's make everything look full on the planet, adjust the size. We don't want clutter. We want great natural spread of objects across the planet. Currently, the objects that are on it are too small. So we're just describing what we see. You know, the LLM was always trying to guess what we're actually trying to do, right? So sometimes give it the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe it just needs a little more direction, and that's not entirely a bad thing, right? Just remember, not too long ago, we were completely satisfied with LLMs just fixing our emails, and now we're like, build Salesforce Spark and make no mistakes. So
something I really appreciate is that folks are becoming less and less tolerant of being the middleware for AI agents. So we're seeing just a lot of these projects aiming to interconnect just blowing up in popularity. Makes my heart happy.
Cool. So here it is, committing all our projects. It's committing the .blend files as well, which is okay if you're doing it for locally, but do not, I mean, .blend files could be a couple gigabytes big. You don't want to just put that up on GitHub. Like, have mercy on their servers as well. Like, there's other ways to share Blend projects than just GitHub. But hey, if you want to do it, do it. It's really up to you. Cool. Okay, I think we've done the initial connect. We're going to exit out of here. Let me just clear all of this. And then let's go to Cline, and hopefully it'll work. We're going to launch Tony's prompt and see what the outcomes are. Meanwhile,
fingers crossed.
Our thing is cooking here.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so nice. The compositor is really doing great heavy lifting. I can definitely see already. Oh, let's see what happened. It had a node problem. It's a Safari that has already exited. Let's launch it one more time. Guys, this, by the way, this might just be a Windows thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, for that reason, might not be using Windows. So don't be dismayed. Let's just continue. First, let me just try this one.
I suspect it'll have issues executing the task.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Create a task. I wonder if I did the right commit. Let's see. It could not fail to run git command. The projects. I see like there's a backlog. Wait, it did commit, but did it push? Does it require us to push? We'll find out.
I don't believe so, as long as get init has been run.
I mean, there's nothing to push, right? It's local. Okay. Ooh. Hello. Hello.
Oh, wow.
What is happening here?
Resizing, it looks like.
Yeah. I told it not to make it look cluttered, so it's probably gonna. It's still cooking. We're gonna let it do its thing. Cool. So get C, that's good. Fatal, ambiguous argument. Yep, I think there's something just wrong with the file at the moment, which we're gonna work on. FYI, because this is so basically this is a repo inside a repo. And
there could be some conflict.
We're doing git within git. And my original folder is hard coded to do atomic commits, regardless, as opposed to a hook. So
we can skip the Kanban usage of Blender this time around, but next time, because there's definitely going to be a next time, we can start with that.
Okay, we're gonna do some meta programming. Actually, now I'm just like more motivated to make this work than ever. But yeah, this thing.
I'm also curious.
It's doing its thing. That's good.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, the Kanban, it is working with the other two directories that we have here. It's just, it looks like it's a quirk with the specific one that we're trying to operate with.
It's crashing at some particular thing, and I'm just gonna take that, copy it. You know, again, the best thing of all this is we have an AI agent that can fix the problem. It's just paste it there. Remember the time you would go to ChatGPT and prompt and copy back and forth, like, oh, I'm so happy we're past that.
I'm so glad I'm no longer the middleware. It's great.
That's so true.
Remember when AI-assisted development was just autofill?
Yeah. Wait. It's doing something. Okay, great. Cline CLI is trying to diagnose Cline Kanban, which is very good. The truth is, Cline Kanban can also I installed Playwright.
Oh, that's fun.
That's something I did before this thing, just for this reason.
For end-to-end browser testing and that kind of thing.
Just for this reason. I was like, but what if we needed to do something on the browser? What if we had to get past Cloudflare's blocking us from trying to read something, just in case. We'll put it up. But I don't know. So we're going to let this cook too. And I think I do want to come back to this and just quickly show you, actually get a render. I do want to get a render out from this. So I'm going to remove some objects. I don't know why. It must be thinking. Are not organized with your orphans. Let me bring the objects back, please. Right? I know what it did. It basically, because there are particle instances, when you move something, it sometimes breaks the thing. So it will realize its mistake and fix it, because it has to create context right here. And I guess the final thing is, let's arrange this. Let's bring dimensional chaos. And let's use it to get good camera angle and just get a render in 1.5K resolution. So it's quick, because ray tracing is expensive to run. It takes time, basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so let's just do that. And the dimensional chaos does a lot of things. So I'm going to tell it to just stick to the goal, please. Yeah, I don't want it to, it will take absolute liberty on making the scene become like a work of art, but it will also take 30 minutes to do it. So we just wanted to get the camera angle and keep it at that. So cool. Now, this is so great. Cline diagnosing Cline is got to be peak climbing. This is great. Cool. So yeah, if you're watching, because this might be a great time to take those questions, and then yeah,
I could present a couple. Dylan is wondering, could Blender be used to represent knowledge graphs?
100%.
I feel like the answer is definitely yes.
In fact, it might be really good at representing knowledge graphs in 3D. Let's not forget that Tesla, on their screens, use Godot engine for the 3D stuff.
I always forget about that.
So,
did you know Rivian uses Unreal Engine?
Yes, I heard about that. And Blender can also equally be very powerful to do this kind of things. Why do I have a feeling the dimensional chaos just deleted everything in here? Oh man, but we'll bring it back. It's not a big problem. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's running your octopus body.
Yeah.
But it's doing on the wrong project.
No.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. But at least it works. So
it does work.
Wait a minute. Wait, could it be that it took liberty and started doing it by itself? 100% it's doing it. Oh no, guys, we're gonna watch the first Cline showdown. You're gonna watch the first Cline showdown in the history. Oh, cut the stream. I'm just kidding.
I hate to break it to you, but this is not the first Cline showdown.
Oh man.
There was that AI deathmatch thing that we were doing fairly recently.
That's so interesting.
This octopus render that looks like an octopus to me.
It just made it from scratch.
That's so fun.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this guy to stop.
That's awesome.
I stopped. I put it into it. I brought down the law.
Well, we're almost at 2 hours anyway, so I feel like we can probably let folks absorb this information. We can think about what we want to present next time, maybe answer a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So just gonna pull up some of those questions. So this is another one. Have any open models been able to author in Blender? Briefly mentioned it earlier, but larger models, open or proprietary, tend to perform better on these kind of benchmarks and for performance when it comes to 3D rendering. I've personally had luck with GPT OSS 120 billion parameter. Admittedly, I should be exploring a little bit more, but that's the one that I've used most frequently for this process. And then, of course, the obvious frontier models. Have definitely played with that quite a few times. But yeah, so I highly encourage checking out various models, experimenting, playing around with them. Thankfully, with Cline, a variety of different providers are supported. So you're more than welcome to bring your own inference, try out what we have. And we also have a revolving door of free models as well. I've been playing around with Trinity Large by Arc lately, and I've been quite impressed by that model.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I think there's more open source models that are more available more and more. And we'll be seeing more of it. Like, yeah.
Definitely.
So
Dylan, I'm going to have to Google things to answer this question. Curious what it'll do if you ask to make a Lorenz attractor. I'm so interested in what that means.
On Blender?
Yes. I apologize. I'm not the best when it comes to jargon like that. Set of chaotic solutions to a system of 3 differential equations derived from simplified atmospheric convection modeling. Oh, that's cool. So it's...
Let's do it. Let's add it in. This is the port for a new Blender MCP. Connect to it.
Yeah, so I can just briefly share my screen as well.
Visually striking Lorenz attractor with custom shading and great viewport composition.
For those who are like myself and aren't familiar with Lorenz attractor, this is the shape. That is fascinating, honestly. It's giving Mobius, it's giving figure 8, it's giving... I love it.
It's the butterfly effect. So the Lorentz
Gotcha.
Lorentz attractor is it's very interesting. Yeah, it actually looks like a butterfly too,
Makes sense.
which is why the butterfly effect is it's an ironic take on it.
That's super cool.
And
Gotcha.
by the way, I gotta say, because we did some Git commits, we were able to get our project back. We just recovered our project back. That was such a pro move there.
Thanks, Cline.
Love
that. Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. Well, next time around, we're definitely going to make a Lorentz attractor. Wait a second, we can use the Kanban for that.
It's right here. Look.
Oh, what?
We got a Lorentz attractor.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Rayon, you move so fast. I'm impressed.
It's just the AI. We have amazing AI, but this is not the impressive part. You're about to see the impressive part in just a second, which is we're making a custom shader, and I will ask it to make it animated too once it's done with the coding part. And I'm gonna pause this. Oh, look at that. Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Woo! This is so good.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Try modeling this in Blender. You're gonna lose your mind. Like the vectors is a solved problem with Blender because it solved vector like curves and vector math. I'm curious though. I wonder if this is a mesh. Yes, it highlights, but is it a mesh? It is a vector. I knew it. Because any mathematical equation could be best represented by vectors, right? Like, so this is it. And it has a really cool custom shader. But you know what it's not doing is it's not animated. So we are going to animate it. So, okay. Oh, it's also going to take a render of it. Great. You can make that your next wallpaper.
Amazing.
I think I should make a shirt that says we should make this our next wallpaper. Because with Blender MCP and Cline, but also I do want to say this, like brutally honest. I've used the Blender MCP with fill in the blanks top 3 soda models and their agents. It's never been as good as is with Cline. Okay. I'm actually endorsing Cline here. Like
you heard the man
from experience. I've done like 200 AI projects in the past like year and a half by now, and I can tell you like very impressive. Cline is just they've touched upon a part of building harnesses and agents that I think a lot of other companies still haven't really been able to crack. So
that's the power of open source, and honestly, what makes me gravitate to the project so much.
It's very good.
This is amazing. Perfect. Well, unfortunately, I think that we might need to cut it short, which 2 hours hardly cutting it short.
Oh man!
But hey, let's save ourselves something for next time too. This is awesome.
This is great.
I mean, Dylan's on fire with the suggestions. Visualizing quantum is needed badly. That's a good point, honestly. Since PQC is having a hard time visualizing quantum systems like Piccolo.
Look, we can use Gemma 4 to, because it's lightweight and really smart, we can absolutely have it run through quantum. By the way, I have a really good friend. A shout out to you, Hamza Wasim, which I will absolutely send it to you. He is a fellow, I think, at Oxford,
Nice.
and he published a book on quantum physics visualized with some of the biggest names in quantum like mechanics, like researchers.
That's awesome.
Hey, who's online right now that's saying this? Dylan, right?
Dylan and Corey are currently online and asking some really interesting questions.
Okay, Dylan, Corey, and Tony. I can literally connect us with the smartest quantum researchers of our time to basically work on some quantum visualizations using Blender MCP, Cline, and this person's expertise and his connections to the world of content.
And part 2 of this class is going to go crazy.
We can invite him. He can be online. He is also a science educator. That's how I know him. He's a friend from back home, and
Nice.
incredibly smart and very humble person.
Love that.
We can do it. He is so passionate about science communication. This is like giving also him and his colleagues a superpower to make things.
Honestly, love that. I love enabling people to build stuff. That's also what makes me get out of bed in the morning.
By the way, the Cline bot things, the Lawrence attractor looks stunning. I agree with it. It is.
Let's take one more look.
Oh,
what a good note to end on.
that is so nice. Let me present the results. Where's the?
Oh, yes.
It's gonna open the. It's gonna render it, right? It's still cooking. It is done. It cycles. It's picked the right settings. Absolutely good. Oh, so good. Scene is clean. Final viewport screenshot, and then it's gonna give us a render.
Drum roll.
We'll post it on X.
You're so right. That's a great idea.
We're gonna post some of these on X. It'll be awesome. And I'll render like an 8K version of this in case someone wants to make a wallpaper on the metallic print. Something like this would be stunning.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's so neat. But cool. Wow. What we did so much.
Right. I'm beyond impressed, honestly. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is a lot of fun, honestly. Thank you so much, Rayon, for giving us an awesome show. Honestly, I did not know that half of this was even possible with the current state of tooling. So, yeah, I feel blessed every time you share knowledge. So, thank you so much.
And I have my presentation. Everything I've shared, it's in there. Do not read it. Do not read the presentation. Just give it to your agent, and it'll know. I've made everything agent first. So you don't have to hit your head like I did for years learning all this. You get to enjoy just building and creating, and build and create with us. Contribute to the Dimensional Chaos library. If you're first time and you want to dabble into Cline, ask Tony. He works at Cline, and he can absolutely help you dip your toes in becoming an awesome developer. And if you want to join a community that I run also, it's called the Immersive Commons, where we do fun, neat little projects like this. Hit me up on LinkedIn, and you can absolutely, you can work alongside me on these projects. So it's pretty neat.
That'll be a blast. Feel free to drop into the Cline Discord, the synchronously ask us questions. More than happy to help unblock anyone with just about anything, honestly. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and happy hacking.